Yes, what's happening, people? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the home of the Premier League champions. Thank you for being here as always. As I always say, hit that like, hit that subscribe because it really, really does help us, especially at this time. I know the club football season is not on, folks, but we do have the World Cup, so you're still locked in here. So like and subscribe, be here with us, share the video, hype the video, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good stuff as we're here staying locked all summer long and rolling right on into the next club season. But yes, for now it is the World Cup. So it's your boy CJ back with you from the Gunners Corner, and we are here to talk a bit about some World Cup stuff. And Argentina is going to be the main focus. It is going to be the main focus right now because Argentina, they have a chance to go all the way and to do it again and to win the World Cup again. Imagine. A lot of people thought that, back in 2022 when Messi and Argentina won the World Cup, then, it was Messi's last hurrah, Messi's last dance. At that time, he was what, 34, 35, maybe? Um, yeah, you thought, surely, and especially after the tournament that he had, he was at the peak of his powers. He pretty much carried them through to win that World Cup, let's be honest. Obviously, other guys contributed, but Messi was the main man, as he always is. And they went on to win that. And at that point you're thinking fair play, that was something that's been hung over Messi's head all these years throughout his career is the fact that he has never won a World Cup. He lost the previous World Cup final to Germany famously. So now you're looking at it and thinking, okay, Messi's got that World Cup under his belt. He's the undisputed GOAT. I think those debates have died down since. I think, there's still a lot of Ronaldo fans out there, et cetera, of course, that are gonna ride out for him. But Messi is Messi, man. I think he's in a league of his own now, truly, after that World Cup win. However, fast forward to 2026, there is another World Cup. Messi is still playing. So is the likes of Ronaldo and other fading superstars in the game, Neymar, Modric. Surely this is going to be the last tournament for some of these guys, right? But front and center of it all still is Leo Messi, as if he's still in his prime, as if he's still, doing what he's been doing throughout his career at Barcelona, throughout his international career. Obviously, he's got a couple of Copa Americas under his belt in and around the World Cup as well. Just a phenomenal guy, man. And what he's still doing now, again, he's leading this Argentina team to potential glory again. They've just topped their group, right? They finished top of the group, a group that included Austria, Algeria, Jordan. And again, whilst, those aren't household names in world football, um, you still got to go out and you still got to do the job. You still got to beat what's ahead of you. Just ask Spain, right? How they did against the likes of Cape Verde and I believe Ecuador, who's a big powerhouse nation in football in South America. They drew against Curacao, right? So these things can happen, right? That's the beauty of the World Cup. You still got to go out and you still got to win games, and Messi and Argentina have done that. Messi's now scored, I believe, 6 goals in this group stage. He scored a hat trick in the first game. He got two in the second game, and he scored a nice free kick last night. At the time of recording this, I am recording this the day after Argentina's game versus Jordan. Messi came off the bench, scored a free kick. Surprise, surprise. And he's now got himself 6 goals for the tournament. Well placed to win that Golden Boot for the World Cup leading goal scorer. Obviously, the likes of Mbappe and them are going to have some things to say about it, but Messi is doing what he's doing, and he's competing against these guys who are in their prime, right? Your likes of Messi, sorry, the likes of Haaland and Harry Kane and Mbappe, Vinny Jr., right? These guys were all going to be looking to be in contention for Golden Boot winner. Messi's competing with these guys, and those guys are in their prime. You know what I mean? Messi's technically past his prime. He's 30, going on, he's 39 years of age, Messi, and he's about to contend for another Golden Boot. I mean, it's insane what he's doing. You know what I mean? And truly, again, I think Argentina have a chance of winning this World Cup once again because of that man, Leo Messi, the GOAT of all GOATs. He is the greatest of all time. I don't want to hear anything else, man. Messi, what he's doing is just different. What he's absolutely doing is just different. And it's the age thing as well, right? It's the fact that he can still, come on that pitch and he's inevitable, right? He's so intelligent. He finds spaces. He picks up balls in dangerous areas. Um, he's still got a fantastic touch, obviously, in technique. He's still got that initial burst to drive past the opponent. And, just some of the goals that he's scoring. I mean, when he arrives late into the box and then he just hits it first time low and hard into the bottom corner, as we saw against Austria in the second group stage game. He's done that time and time again throughout his career. Like I said, just arrives on the edge of the box and able to finish it one time into the bottom corner. It's just he again he's still he's got everything in the game still to this day, and it's intelligence. The intelligence that he has is what is carrying him through at the moment. Again, because he knows his game, right? He used to play a lot more on the wings or as a right winger, right? He's not able to do that nowadays. He picks up more central area spaces, and his teammates will play for him and play around him as well. There's no doubt about it. That's a massive part of it as well. And that's why I'm not, discrediting the team and the players around him, right? The players around him absolutely, they play for him and they play with him and they understand his strengths. Whereas you see the struggles currently at the moment with Portugal and Ronaldo, I think they're struggling really in terms of how to get the best out of the team with Ronaldo, a 41-year-old Ronaldo still in it. Messi is just able to slot in there seamlessly and it works because again, you have the midfield that works hard around him. You have the likes of DePaul, you have the likes of McAllister, Enzo Fernandez. Those guys are the workhorses in midfield that allow Messi to just, be that free sort of number 10. He picks up then the central areas and number 10 spaces just in behind the striker. And you have the midfield around him working as an engine, and a well-oiled machine and a well-oiled cog around Messi that, they just complement one another. They really do. The players complement one another, and the players complement Messi. Messi complements the players. The players still absolutely love playing with and for a legend like Messi. The whole football nation, you can tell with the fans, like it's just a nation that's united, that's got so much passion, always has done, Argentina as a footballing nation. And with them now seeing what the GOAT in Messi is doing, I think it's just something again that's fueling everybody on, and the chance that there really is now that I think they're seeing. They would have always known this, but now that they're really it's becoming a reality that they can go and win this again. Not only the way they started, but the route to the final that they have. And a lot of people are giving them a hard time when you look at their side of the bracket. A lot of people are giving Argentina and Messi a hard time, saying, "Oh, then you start hearing the things about the tournament being scripted, and the things coming out about um, the corruption in FIFA. Because why is Argentina's route to another final, that looks so easy, quote unquote, on paper? When you look at the other side of the bracket, the opposing side to the bracket that Argentina is on has Germany, France." Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, right? Some big powerhouse nations. And previous winners of the tournament in there on that side. Whereas Argentina's side has, they have some, for me at least, they still have some strong nations in there that you're gonna have to negotiate if you want to get to a final if you're Argentina. And I think people who are saying Argentina have an easy side or an easy path to the final are disrespecting the likes of Brazil, disrespecting the likes of England, disrespecting Colombia, um, Ghana, right? Ecuador. There's some good sides in there. Norway has made a good start to the tournament. Ivory Coast is a tricky side to play against. I wouldn't be disrespecting that and saying, oh, Argentina automatically, have this easy path to the final. It's not. It's not easy. It's not easy. I disagree. At this level, as we've seen with a lot of t teams at club level, but also in international football, these teams are well coached and set up well defensively, which means, yes, Messi is Messi, but it's football. You're gonna have a hard time breaking these teams down who are well drilled defensively and will low block and will catch you on the break, and everybody defends as one. It's not just a back four defending; it's a whole team defending as a collective. You see that time and time again. At this level, everybody can defend. I always say this to people around me. At this level in professional football, everybody can defend. What obviously makes a difference is who has those difference makers in attack, the game changers and the match winners in attack. That wasn't, no obvious more so than Germany versus Ivory Coast the other day, where, famously Adingra had the chance to win it for Ivory Coast against Germany last minute, just didn't have, the know-how, the quality in that time, in that moment to finish off the effort. Pepe went on a long driving run down the right, played Adingra in the box. Adingra took a touch instead of finishing it first time, right? What happens, the other end, Germany go capitalize. Undov, first touch, good control, second touch finish in the bottom corner. I think in the 90 something minute, Undov scores and then goes and makes it 2-1 for Germany. They beat Ivory Coast in that game. Why? Because it was down to the extra bit of quality that Germany has right in the final third. That's what makes the difference at the top level. Well and truly makes the difference. It's the game changers and the match winners you have in the top end of the pitch in the final third. Because again, everybody can defend. So who's going to win you a game? Who's got the ability to do the hardest thing in football, which is to score goals, right? And that's why Argentina again have a chance to go all that way because they do have that game changer. Even at 39 years of age, they do have that game changer in the GOAT, Lionel Messi, to go and do what he does, and wins them games. Certain things that you just can't coach, certain levels of quality and ability and technique that you just can't coach. Messi is that match winner. for Argentina, and that's why they have a chance. And again, going back to the defensive side of things, I do want to stress that because they are, teams that Argentina will be playing are so well drilled defensively. Um, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for Argentina in the slightest. Teams are going to come up against that Argentina side and Messi and know what that's all about. You're going to try your best to defend it, of course, but it can work in a lot of instances because you see David versus Goliath stories all the time that the underdog story, the underdog comes out on top, right? This is football. This is the World Cup. That's what we love it for. And I think absolutely that, teams on that side will have a chance. Of course, Argentina are going to be favorites, but teams on that side will certainly have a chance in this game that we call football, that we know and love for what it is, right? It's the underdog stories. And listen, I mean, if you come up against a Brazil, is Brazil necessarily an underdog? We're talking about, Brazil being on the same side as Argentina in the bracket. Brazil, who have won the World Cups more than anybody else, the nation that's won World Cup more than anybody else. Who's going to have more incentive to want to stop Argentina than Brazil? So, and then again, not saying Brazil's going to get this far. These are all, you know, hypothetical scenarios, right? We don't know what's going to happen. Brazil have a tough round next round themselves against Japan. So yeah, nothing is a given, right? But we're talking about hypothetical scenarios. We're talking about the possibilities. That's what we love the game for as well, right? We can predict, you know, we can try and think in our mind what's going to happen. We can try and predict the outcome. It's the beauty of the game. My bracket's already all over the place. They're all wrong and they're all messed up because, certain things that I predicted to start the tournament didn't necessarily happen. I predicted Portugal to top the group, and therefore Portugal would have been on Argentina's side. But Portugal obviously finished second. Colombia finished top of that group, which is again another thing. If Colombia were to match up against Argentina, Colombia would want to stop Messi and Argentina more than anybody else as well. The South American rivalry there. Colombia is an absolutely difficult side to play against. They've topped their group, right? Let's not disrespect Colombia. I think they're a really good side. Really good footballers. They got Luis Diaz, Munoz at right back, who's having a good tournament. Luis Suarez up top, and they got some decent midfielders as well. Davinson Sanchez, former Tottenham player at the back. And I've never seen him play so well. He's having a great tournament too, Davinson Sanchez at the back. So yeah, they got some players there. They got some players there, Colombia, that can hurt Argentina. Absolutely. I was impressed by what I saw from them this tournament so far, Colombia. And they're a side I definitely fancy um, to give Argentina trouble and to give them a hard time. You know what I mean? And again, not saying Colombia is getting all the way as well, because Colombia's next opponents are Ghana. That's going to be a great match as well in the round of 32. So some really intriguing matchups, some really things to look forward to. And overall, the premise of what I'm saying is that, you know, defenses, it's the hardest thing to do in football is score. And when you're playing tight-knit back lines, well-drilled, well-coached defenses in the game, it's not a fair foregone conclusion that you're going to be able to get through, right? Look at the sides like Cape Verde as well, and Cape Verde are Argentina's next opponents. Argentina will be expected to get through for sure, but it just goes to show, right? When you see sides like Cape Verde, right, not the most talented team, not the most technical team. Now, mind you, they do have some quality going forward, right? But we don't know any. Have we ever heard of any of these players of Cape Verde's before this tournament? You know what I mean? How many of them play at elite levels around Europe? So Cape Verde, like, they held Spain to a draw. Um, you know what I mean? And this is a team that doesn't have standout stellar names, even defensively. They don't have standout stellar names. It's not like they have, the Sergio Ramoses of the world. They just know how to defend as a team, as a collective. Again, well drilled, well coached at this level. We've got good coaches all across football, who, set up tactically and understand what it takes to be well drilled and to be a side that's difficult to beat. So it doesn't have to be powerhouse nations with big name defenders. Your previous, again, I said Sergio Ramos, John Terry's of the world, Cannavaro's. Like, it doesn't have to be these kind of players with big names and big reputations. It's just a matter of defending as a unit, passion, and especially in international football, passion carries you through a lot because everybody's fighting for one another. Everyone's fighting for the nation, right? The passion and the emotion will help see you through as well. When you're running on that adrenaline for 90 minutes, you put your body on the line, you put everything on the line for that 90 minutes. Especially now we're entering the knockout rounds, you're going to see, it's going to be, these games are going to have a lot more intensity to them, a lot more vigor and verb, and just the velocity and speed of the game that is going to pick up. You're going to see a lot more, obviously, tackles flying in and people getting stuck in. It's going to be great. The round of 32 under this new format is something we're not accustomed to, obviously, but it is now knockout football, so the games have a lot more jeopardy on them, and it's going to be exciting to watch. But listen, people, there's just this real possibility once again, as I alluded to from the beginning, that Argentina and Messi can go on and win this thing once again. Not only because of their path to the final, but because you see the main key thing is that what the man Messi is doing at this stage of his career is just phenomenal. Um, so long as he's fit and healthy, they'll always have a chance. And I'm not disrespecting this side of the bracket that Argentina are on and saying, it's a foregone conclusion. Yes, they have a nice path, it looks like on paper, because they've avoided a lot of the big boys from Europe, especially, right, who are on the other side, France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Netherlands. Well, I think have a real shot, Netherlands, to go to do something as well as a dark horse. But yeah, so whilst Argentina has avoided a lot of those, um, there's still some big sides there, but it definitely is more favorable for Argentina being on the side of the bracket. There is no doubt about it. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Um, it is definitely more favorable, to be fair to you. You can definitely now see another France-Argentina final, which would be exciting. I wouldn't mind a rematch in that sense. France for me are still the favorites. But yeah, you wouldn't mind seeing that again. But yeah, man, just that combination of, and truly, it's great to see because I did think personally in my end that Messi was done and Argentina was going to be done after that last World Cup win. But credit to them for being able to go again and having that because it's hard to repeat in anything, right? As Arsenal as Premier League champions, right? It's going to be interesting to see how we go again next season in the Premier League and try and defend that crown. It's hard to repeat. It's hard to defend your crown and your title in any sport. Um, Truly, it truly is, and I think that's why we call likes of Michael Jordan the GOAT, right? Back to backs, not losing in finals and things like that. This is why we call Michael Jordan in a basketball sense the GOAT because we know repeating is very, very hard to do. But Messi and Argentina look well placed to do so because again, credit to them, they still have the hunger and the same level of passion as you can see from what their game so far to go again, to win this again. Truly one last dance for Messi because you would think that after this tournament, Messi is not going to play another World Cup, surely, right? He would be what, 30, 40, 43, I guess in 4 years' time, 43, 44, whatever. So surely this is now officially his last World Cup. But when you see him at 39 years of age, balling at this level, still toying with defenders, still scoring goals for fun, um, and having the impact that he's having at 39 years of age, he's not just going through the motions. He's still the main man. He's still scored 90% of Argentina's goals so far, um, which is mad. I think they have what, 8 goals, 8, 9 goals. He's got 6 of them. He's ridiculous. He's a freak. He's the best player we've ever seen. And if he repeats, for me, there's already no debate about it. He is the GOAT. He is definitely the GOAT. We watch football with our eyes, people. We see the impact that he has on a football pitch and the things that he does. He makes the game look so easy. And at winning the World Cup at 35 years of age, which cemented his legacy when he's now won everything in the game and winning that when he did. If he now goes on and wins it again at 39 years of age, like, what are we doing here? It's just a joke. He's just taking the piss out of all of us at this point. So, yeah, man, it's a real possibility. It's scary with the way he's doing, the form that he's on, the way Argentina's playing in and around him, the players around him. Again, it looks like a united nation, a well-oiled machine, fans, everybody together. So it's looking kind of scary for teams. And when you have that man Messi, there's always a chance. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Will Argentina win it? How good of a chance do you give them to go on and win the whole thing again? Can they get past the likes of a France, etc., if they get to a final once again? Will Messi stay fit all tournament? That's a big thing at his age as well, right? That's going to be key, of course, is his fitness throughout the tournament. Let me know what you guys think. It's exciting. The World Cup is now hitting the round of 32 stage, and we'll see where things are at. So, listen, I've been CJ from the Gunner's Corner. Please like and subscribe, hype the video as we always say, because it really does help us out. And we've been, yeah, man, we've been here, we've been present. We're going to continue to be, as I said, all summer long, all the way up until the new club season. So keep it locked here, folks. Like and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one. We are out. Bye bye.